Yeah, you need an initial hole. I don't care if my pants get wet. Where's the lid?
Welcome in to Keep It About Ball, bitch.
Just a splash.
Shitbag lizard people.
Bro's QB2 is Aiden O'Connell.
Sean Payton.
Actually, when you add up the pick value, when you crunch numbers, who the fuck's Jennifer?
And welcome into an episode of Keep It About Ball. I am your host, Zach. Today I'm going to go through a few rounds of the newest Dynasty startup in the Kayab universe, Keep It About Ball. This one is similar to the Home League, Hillary Duff's Prime, HDP for short. Probably hear me reference that maybe a time or two throughout this episode. That means the scoring is higher for quarterbacks, for most positions, really. We like points, just like the NFL. More points, more fun. Quarterback scoring is higher. That includes like QB completion percentage, and 6 points per passing touchdown. 20 passing yards is 1 point as opposed to the standard 25. Just gives them a little more juice, gives them a little more importance. And I think, I'm actually not positive, they might be worth half a first down in this league too. But don't quote me on that much. I should probably know that. I am the commissioner. Too many leagues. But yeah, that is kind of the setup here. Tight end premium. We are doing IDP. It is super flex. Defenses are also, they are important in this league. They have HDP scoring as well, meaning when your defense has an elite week, like in reference to like Dallas a couple years ago, I think it was week 1, just completely shit on Daniel Jones and the Giants and completely embarrassed them. I think it was a shutout. Maybe they got 3 points. Regardless, Dallas put up like 50, 60 points in our league, in that league. Like, they were just like as good as like your wide receiver 1 on an important week, or your quarterback on an important week, your running back on their biggest week, whatever. Maybe not important, but their biggest week. You get what I'm saying. Defenses matter. And on that token, where this league will differ from HDP is that HDP scoring, and this wasn't done intentionally, you kind of learned our lesson via HDP, that the defenses, even when a defense is bad, they still put up like 18, 19 points, which is too fucking much. Because there's not enough punishment. There's plenty of reward for when you're good in that league, but not enough punishment for when you're bad. And that's what this league is going to have for the defenses. They're still going to be fucking elite tier, win you a week when they're having good weeks. But now they can really, I mean, they're not going to go like negative, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? But when a defense has a bad week, they're going to get you 1 or 2 points like they should. It's not going to be a lot. That might be a bit dramatic. Maybe like 9, 10 points. But you get what I'm saying. It puts the defenses back in check, but also maintains their value. And I'm really excited for that. Or at least that is the plan anyways. So that's kind of the league setup here. Got a pretty good group of people. Was very excited going into the draft. A good balance of dudes I know in real life, and a good balance of people I've met playing fantasy football online, all of which I, feel pretty comfortable about their ball knowingness and their managerialness. As well, though, that all said, this has been the slowest drafting league I have ever been a part of. Absolutely dragging ass. We started late Sunday afternoon. Oh gosh, it's Friday now. It's Friday afternoon, actually. I'm getting ready to go to work, and I am waiting to make my 4th and 5th round picks out of the number 1 overall spot. I started with a 12-hour time clock on this league, and I know it sounds like a lot. That's what I've always done. It's never been an issue. And a lot of why I've done this before is, people got shit going on. And in SSP and in this league, we have dudes on different sides of the world. In SSP, we had drafters from Norway and Australia. In this one, we've got a drafter from Australia. And then there's, we've got like 3 different time zones drafting out of the U.S. in here. So, I mean, we're all in different schedules and whatnot. So, accounting for that, but it's never been an issue like this. We had one guy go like 17 hours because the draft paused overnight, and it was like 17, and I even said like, hey bro, you're exploiting the clock, you need to make your pick, and he still didn't pick. I don't know why I didn't go in and just force it. I don't know. It's been absolutely ridiculous. We have another manager. I just kind of gave away who. I was trying not to give away who. I just kind of did though. I just like people using so much time and just like so much accumulative time, but it's not just one person. It's been 3 or 4 of them, and it's been absolute ass. But we're finally getting somewhere, and I am changing the time clock later this evening. Now that we're getting to the weekend, and we're going down to 4 hours, and unless we if we can get to like around 15, 16, I will consider, because I've already moved it down to 8 because 12 was too long. I brought it down to 8, still taking too fucking long. So I will consider going back to 8 if we can hit like round 14 by the time Monday comes around, by the time I'm going to sleep Monday morning, because it'll be Sunday night, Monday morning. Basically Sunday. So when I go to sleep Sunday night, if we're at like round 14, all right, we're caught back up. We can slow it back down. I think everyone kind of got the point. They need to be more active because we are starting to get a little traction and starting to speed up a little bit. The first 2 rounds were like 3 fucking days. Yesterday was about a day, and around a day is about where I like. Realistically, like I said, we're all busy, and I told everyone when we drafted, if we can do like a round and a half a day, you know, hit that occasional spurt of like 2-3, we good. We'll draft for like 2-3 weeks. That's fine. That's the kind of slow draft we're looking for. But the kind of rate we're at right now and been at, it's gonna, like, there was a point, you know, in those first couple rounds, if you mathematically, I did this, if you mathematically rated it out and figured out where, continuing at that rate, where we would finish, it would have been like week 3, past the preseason, like, and just absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, we got to get squared back away. Getting there, you know, at around 14, 15 would put us roughly halfway, not quite halfway, but roughly there, and put us in good position to finish up within 2 weeks, or right about 2 weeks. Because that's, and I told everyone, plan to draft for 2 weeks, because that's when I think slow draft. I think a week to 2 weeks. You need to be planning on that. After that, you're talking. I don't even know what the word you'd want to use, kind of draft, but not a draft I want to do, and a draft I'm trying to avoid. So hopefully this 4-hour clock gets us going quite a bit. I'm ready to make some auto picks if people don't make their picks. Some bottom of the barrel guys, you know what I'm saying? I probably won't pick any dead dudes. That would be really easy to do and probably be an easy, like, dark humor joke, but probably not in good enough taste. Probably not the place for that. So I will avoid any dead dudes, but I'm not even going to go, like, cool, like, ads. Like, I'm not going to, like, oh, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, ha, 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 look, you got to use this player. No, you're getting an active player that's useless. You're going to look at that and be like, fuck, I didn't even get good mojo from this pick. This pick was just fuck. It was just purely wasted. Just pure ass. Because you're just going to see that player right there all the time and be like, fuck, I should have been paying attention. And you'll be right. You should have been paying attention. Because there's been plenty of heads up. I told everyone, if you've got something going on this weekend that you're not going to be able to make your picks, let me know. Let me know so that I'm not auto-picking for you. We need to know ahead of time. And really, you know ahead of time. So there's really not any excuse. It's every 4 hours. You got more than 4 hours yet. So there's plenty of times between. I don't know. I'm getting carried away and ranting. Recenter here a bit. I'm not going to be able to get through it all real quick here before I have to go to work, so I will take a break here after I finish probably of the first team or two, and then finish up tonight when I get home. So going to start here with AB's welfare. Drafting out of the 12 hole once again. He started his draft with Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams at the 112 and 201. Fantastic start, in my opinion. Would have been the exact thing I'd try to do if I were drafting out of his spot instead of at the 1. Can't really double up right there. But if I were doubling up the end right there, 100%. Especially if Jalen Hurts falls to me at 112. And now, I said we're going to settle down and I'm getting worked up. But I get worked up about Jalen Hurts, bro. Because how he slips to 112 is insane to me. I'm going to say something right here, and this is... It's probably not even a hot take. A lot of people probably consider this like a nuclear take. But, and I swear to God, I'm not doing this because we have very few listeners and I'm trying to gain listeners with a terrible take. I promise. I promise. If you'd have put me in the situation, I would have done this. I would have done this. But had I been drafting number 2, where Jonathan was, and the guy in front of me took Drake May, I wouldn't have taken Josh Allen. I would have taken Jalen Hurts. And I know, Shaq doesn't know ball. Shaq, that's Josh Allen. Windy, handy, bamdy, bam. This is fantasy football. This isn't an NFL team. If it was an NFL team, I'm taking Josh Allen, hands down, bar none. I don't want to say bar none, because Jalen Hurts is a damn good football player, and I think he's a damn good quarterback. But probably like 9.5 times out of 10, as far as an on-the-field product, I'm probably taking Josh Allen. But as far as dynasty football, and if it were a redraft this year, I'm taking Josh Allen for sure. If it slips that Josh Allen, of course, I'm not taking either one of them in the first round. But if it falls to me at that point, and I'm like, ooh, I got Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, I'm gonna go Josh Allen in redraft. But dynasty, it's a different discussion. 2 years younger, and I get, I just never saying, But Josh Allen is 29, going on 30, right? He might not be. I think he's. I want to pull this up here. Let me look up Josh Allen's age real quick while I kind of continue to filibuster in the meantime. But he's about 2 years younger. Football player. 2 years younger, and born 1996. Yeah, so he's a year younger than me, and I just turned 30. Okay, I just turned 31 in May. Josh Allen turned 30 right after I turned 30. Josh Allen is 30. So that's what I thought. I thought he was 30. Brady told me the other night he was 29, trying to tell me I'm a retard for taking Jalen Hurts instead. And Jalen Hurts, I will pull it up. I'm pretty sure is 27. And now I get it. Ages and everything. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, August 7th, 1998, that's 2 years after. So he's 2 years and some change younger. Okay, so he's 28. He's about to be 28. He's 27 right now, about to be 28. Basically, he's going to be 28 when the season starts. He's 28 as far as we're concerned for all our purposes. But I'm still, the 2 years is huge to me because I see both of them playing until... Okay, I see both of them playing it's hard to say how long they're playing until. I see them both being elite fantasy quarterbacks, both till they're probably about roughly like 34, 35. And I still think we got 5 more elite years out of Josh Allen. For sure. And I think we got about roughly 7 years of elite fantasy Jalen Hurts. And I'm saying these guys for fantasy. I'm not talking. We're talking about fantasy football here. I'm not talking about the on the field product. That's complete. And we're talking about dynasty fantasy. Completely different deals right there. So, right now, for me, I look at it and I'm like, Jalen Hurts scores. You know, he is a top 10 quarterback, top 5 really, every single year. Last year was a down year, and he was top 10. He was top 10, and that's a bad year for him. And what are we talking about here? And he always has QB1 upside. He's finished QB1, and always is pretty much. I look at him as a locked in QB, top 5 QB fantasy wise. So if I can get top 5 quarterback for 7 years, as opposed to top 5 quarterback for 5 more years, I'm taking it. And I get it. Josh Allen in that time. Probably going to score a few more points, but if I'm getting 2 more years for me, of, let's say, I don't know roughly exactly what the averages are going to be with this scoring and stuff, but just for the sake of the argument, I don't think these are going to be it. For the sake of the argument, I'm getting 22 points out of Josh Allen, 22 points per game out of Josh Allen for the next 5 years, and like 19 and a half out of Jalen Hurts for the next 7. I'm taking Jalen Hurts. If I know that's locked in like that, which obviously we don't know any of this, none of this is known. We're playing a game, but that is the route I'm taking. In Dynasty, absolutely. Like I said, in redraft, in on the field product, in real life, no, I'm taking Josh Allen. Get real. But in a Dynasty format, especially one like this, where quarterback is so important, and you need to know that you have that high-end quarterback like locked in, I'm taking Jalen Hurts so that I have that knowledge. And I mean, it's obviously not like you take Josh Allen. I waited too long to say this. I'm not trying to poo-poo Josh Allen here. If you tell me Josh Allen's your Dynasty QB1, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, checks out. That makes sense, yeah. Good take. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try to debate with you like, you're wrong and this and that. I'm saying this is for me. Like, I think there's 3, 4, maybe even 5 guys you could argue for number 1 Dynasty quarterback. Because I think you could. I don't agree. Definitely don't agree. And this is one I might sit there and argue a little bit with. Not a ton. A little bit. Lamar, still number 1 Dynasty quarterback. Not me. I think some people could make that case. Sure, you could. I wouldn't do it. I guess if you're going to do it for Lamar, you got to do it for Burrow. So, and I don't think too many people look at him as Dynasty QB1. So maybe I won't say Lamar. We'll say like 4 guys, because I am going to include Jaden Daniels because of his age and the massive upside. If Jaden Daniels, now, we'll talk about Dynasty quarterback rankings. If Jaden Daniels had stayed healthy last year and had a year, he wouldn't even have to be quite as good as he was his rookie year, but just avoided the sophomore slump and was like, hey, this guy's fucking legit. He's sticking around. He'd be my quarterback 1. I'd have taken him over Drake May. It'd have been really hard to do. But I've been like, the upside's probably better. He seems locked in, seen it back-to-back seasons as opposed to, like 1 and kind of like a quarter season-ish from Drake May. Because that, his rookie year, he didn't get a lot of playing time. And you saw the potential there, but it wasn't like Jaden Daniels' rookie year. We're like, holy shit, this guy's good. You were like, okay, we see the product there. And then his sophomore year, you're like, oh, okay, Drake May. All right, yeah, you're sticking around. As opposed, yeah, but you get what I'm saying there. But yeah, man, I could probably talk about Dynasty quarterback rankings for quite a while. Quite a fucking while, and I need to actually get going to work. So I'm going to try and finish up here on AB's draft now that I'm done talking about that. But yeah, moving on. Caleb Williams to shore up his QB2 in this format, correct move in my opinion. He's got 2 top 10 Dynasty quarterbacks, and that gives him the ability to spend the rest of his draft just filling out the roster however he may please. He's got the most important position, I feel like, locked up for the next, like I said, 7 years at least. So I guess 7 years at least minimum. And then he goes and he drafts Nico Collins after that. Now, personally, not the biggest Nico guy. I am probably not taking him till like early mid-4th, but I am lower than consensus for most people on Nico, so getting him that late probably isn't going to happen for most people. His last pick in this 4-round review was Christian McCaffrey, which indicates to me he is, in fact, going to go and try and win now, which I wouldn't expect anything less from AB here. His draft does kind... Oh, wait, hang on. Let me see what I had typed up here, because that might be... Okay. So I must have typed that up when I was tired. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking there. But I think he's got a good balance going here. Actually, a great balance of, like the youth and like the win now, like, hey, like I want to win this year, but also I'm not gonna screw myself for the future kind of deal. I think he's so far on a good line of that. He's got 3 good young guys, and getting Christian McCaffrey in the 4th round. If you're going and trying to win this year, I feel like it's a good value. Should probably work out pretty well for you. So I do like that. Yeah, and I think I really like this start a lot. I'm going through these notes here. I typed some of it up yesterday and whatever. That's how long this draft is taking. I typed this up yesterday, and he still hasn't made a 5th pick past these 4 right here. Gosh. So as always, before I give ratings here, because I am gonna rate the first 4 rounds, because I have fucking main character syndrome and think people care what I have to say, and I just like putting numbers to things and shit like that. I'm gonna go ahead and rate these through the first 4 picks and do that. So as always, it's just I'm not a professional. I'm just a dude yapping, talking. If you made it this far, God bless you and thank you so much. But so don't get fucking bent out of shape or crash out because of a grade or anything I give in this, because like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm just a dude who likes talking about fantasy football. I'm going 8.5 here on A/B through the first 4 rounds. I really like it. Locked up the quarterbacks. Got a good receiver. Not my guy that I would have gone, but still a consensus top 12 receiver, and a running back that's going to help him win a lot of games this year. And when I get back, we will come to Lucas, but I do have to get ready for work, so we will take a quick break for you guys, but it's going to be about a 12-hour break for me, so I'll see you guys soon.
Alright, and welcome back in. It is actually 36 hours later rather than 12. Work whipped my ass. I was not trying to record when I got off last night, and today I was out mowing lawns all day, so I'm here now, though. I got a couple beers, and I got a blunt, and I'm ready to bust this out. I believe we are on, going backwards, I believe we were in the draft order, and I think we're at number 11 with Lucas, friend of the show, and I would just say becoming kind of a friend. When he's been able to pick, I'm not saying that like he takes a while, because Lucas is very good about getting onto it. But when he's had the chance to pick in the first 4 rounds, when it was really slow, he went Jefferson, Genty, Neighbors, and McMillan. He was the only one through 4 rounds not to take a quarterback, which I think is pretty interesting when you consider the scoring here. And let me pull up here. I meant to have it ready. The remaining quarterbacks that were left, it wasn't a ton, but there were still some options here. I probably should have had this draft board ready, but that's okay. We are already right there. Let's see. So, round 4, where Lucas took TATE. So, after that, Jordan Love went, which is who I was going to take. He was still on the board. Dak Prescott went, who was still on the board. Cam Ward, Baker. I took Jared Goff. Sam Darnold went the next round. There's guys, and then the round after that, Tyler Shook, Matthew Stafford, CJ Stroud, Kyler. I'm getting a little far ahead right there. I kind of wanted to go ahead and stick to the first 4 rounds, since that's what I had prepared. But it was just kind of interesting to see him do that, especially with the way that the quarterback scoring is working. I know he's had time to look at that and check it. I know Lucas does his homework, so I know he has. So it was interesting to see. He is the one that took Tyler Shook, I suppose, in those later rounds, but that's getting into the later rounds, and we'll cover that with Brady and Reed, hopefully tomorrow. So when I look at this team, I feel like through the first 4 rounds, it just feels like a big gamble. Nothing but gambles. Like Justin Jefferson, the gamble there is, you're kind of gambling the Kyler, who I'm a big Kyler fan. Anyone listening to the show somewhat regularly, playing in any leagues with me, knows I'm a Kyler guy. But it is a gamble. Him and KOC getting on the same page, KOC designing the right system, and just honestly, I hate to say it, as a Kyler guy, Kyler's got to a little bit prove it this year and be like, hey, I'm still that number 1 pick. I still have it in my bag to as far as fantasy, support a number one receiver and maybe, you know, keep Jordan Addison fantasy relevant, and who knows, maybe even TJ Hawkinson. Jawan Jennings is there now, and that does kind of muddy up the water too. More targets, but it's Justin Jefferson. You know, he's going to be the focal point of the offense, so I'm not worried about the other people there. But it is a little gamble there. His next pick, Ashton Genty. Pretty obvious gamble there. It's the Raiders, just the organization as a whole. I think I'm not going to say too much about that. They made some smart moves this offseason. They have. But nothing has been proven or seen yet, and I'm still skeptical until they fix it and there's concrete evidence that they're turning it around. I'm not buying in personally. Pick 3, Neighbors. Obviously, you know, if he gets back to proper health here, he got insane value here. Neighbors at 311, and he goes back and starts doing what Malik Neighbors, you know, does. But everything coming out about that knee, meniscus, whatever, it's not good. And it's just kind of, I wouldn't even say you describe it as not good. It's just kind of bad, you know. So I'm really worried he may have one of, you know, like those injuries, and that I really hope not, because if he does, that's absolutely fucked. Because the ceiling for this guy is like perennial wide receiver 1 in fantasy. I mean, even on the field too. You know, up there with the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons, Puka, even JSNs of the world. You know, to me, the pick is epitome of high risk, high reward. And the last pick through the first 4 rounds was Tet McMillan. Obviously, I mean, a lot of obvious gambles here. Bryce Young. I mean, fantasy football is one big gamble, if we're being real. But gambling on Bryce Young, not the gamble I want to take. And there's just, I don't know. That offense just kind of, it feels pretty gross to me right now, to be totally honest. But I guess in a few years, you know, they can move on from Bryce Young, and that pick could be nice, but I don't know. Just regardless, you're still kind of gambling on Bryce Young figuring it out, or them bringing in a quarterback, whether that's via draft, free agency, trade, that also is going to figure out, already has it figured out, is going to, you know, really take him to that next level from, like, you know, like mid wide receiver 2 fantasy wise, and kind of go and really, yeah, you get what I'm saying. My personal rating here, I'm not going to lie, probably going to be my lowest grade for one of Lucas's drafts ever. Like, normally I love his drafts. I think he drafts great, but through the first 4 rounds here, I'm going 4.5. And again, that's through the first 4 rounds. More of the draft has progressed since then, but yeah. Next up is OTC Reed, Mr. OTC himself. His draft so far seems pretty solid. He, of course, went JSN, big JSN guy, Reed is. Then Trevor Lawrence in round 2, Chris Olave, and Chase Brown were his 2 other picks. And this isn't my kind of draft, you know, but I can't knock it at all. He's put himself into a really good position so far to keep a good balance of things going, of being good this year, but also maintaining, you know, a bit of youth that's not just going to, you know, fall off in a year or two. The core is young, and also a base for a contender. All these guys should at least have a minimum of 3 years coming. So, excuse me, he did make a deal. He made a deal to get Carson's 2nd round pick, and for that he gave up his 27 first and 2nd round pick. I think it's actually a good value for both teams. But I do prefer Reed's side here. I would have rather have Brock Purdy, which is who he took, than those 2 picks next year, to be totally honest. Especially if you're planning to compete this year, you're going to expect those draft picks that you're trading away to be late picks. So they're not even going to be high-end picks. You're not going to draft Jeremiah Love or whoever else. I don't know all the prospects, but you're not going to draft the number 1. You're not going to have the top pick. You're not planning on it like this. So I really like that move. And I mean, I like the deal for Carson too. If you're like trying to just think long term and I want to stash away, that's what I've done in other leagues too. You kind of want to try that build as opposed to just the, I gotta win mindset. Which I also like to do too. I think it's a good, and especially with the draft class coming up, should be worth it. Maybe a bit much. I think for those you probably could have. gone like third or fourth. I don't know. The value, I feel like, for the rookie picks so far in this startup has been, not just the rookie picks for next year, but the rookie picks for this year have been too high. I think people are putting too much stock into them. A lot of like third round rookie picks for this year, fourth round rookie picks. It feels like kind of floating around, getting traded. And I'm not going to lie to you, feels gross. I suppose it's not going to be rookies only. There's going to be other vets, and who the remaining available free agent pool will be there as well. But gosh, it just, who's going to be there in round 3? You know, I don't know. I'm getting distracted here. We might get into that tomorrow because I did get offered a third round pick. But yeah, I like this. I like Reed's start. Again, his start through the first 4 rounds was Brock Purdy. Let me go back up here. JSN, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Chris Olave, and Chase Brown. I think that's pretty fucking solid. You've got 2 quarterbacks that you probably feel like, hey, I'm getting at least top 14 out of them, and in this league, super important. Chris Olave, and who was the other receiver? And JSN. How can I forget that? Chris Olave and JSN to start your receiver core with. That's a great start, and I'm a big Chase Brown guy. That might only last until his contract's up. We'll see where he ends up, and if he still is fantasy relevant there and really good there. But, yeah, I think as far as this year goes, he's obviously going for the contender for this year, and I think he's doing a really good job. I'm going 9.5 out of 10 here to start. Next up is... that's not right. That is not right. Okay, I went too far. Okay, next is Carson, who made that trade with Reed I just talked about. He's only made 3 selections so far, and those are Puka, Kenneth Walker, and Jordan Love. Of course, he traded one of his picks away. In the 4th round, which that Jordan Love pick was a real piss in my Cheerios. That's who I was hoping to snag right there. So, like I said, I did like Reed's side of that deal, but I do like it for Carson more too. If you're not planning to compete this year, though, I'm not sure that Walker makes a ton of sense. He's almost 27 when the next season starts, when you're probably maybe thinking about competing, if you're just waiting like a year to kind of like load up and then come out guns a-blazing. I mean, he'll be good for next year, but like, how long do you really think he has? Puka has mentioned early retirement. He probably still, that gives me pause for concern. Skip, he's still a way away from that. And now Jordan Love in the 4th round, that's badass value, to be totally honest. He slipped that far is insane. And he's gonna be fine for a while. I don't know. I don't hate the players or the build per se just so far. I don't really see the vision, to be totally honest, with this one. Through the first 4 rounds, I would say. Going 5 out of 10. Next up is Diet Coke for Life. I don't know her name, so we're going to call her Sarah. Sarah has drafted 4 positions in this round. Those players are Lamar, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Colston Loveland, and Travis Etienne. So this one feels like she's a value hunter for sure. Lamar 108, St. Brown 25, Loveland 38. In a tight end premium is like taking candy from a baby. And Travis Etienne 4-5 feels like proper to good value. You know, because he'd probably be the only running back of note there, I would say, this year. If Kendre Miller gets healthy and stays healthy, he might, be on the field some. I think it's Etienne's job to lose anyways. We've seen a lot of running backs switch teams like that and kind of fall off, so we'll see what happens. But, she's got a legit QB1, bona fide QB1, legit wide receiver 1, legit tight end 1, in my opinion. And, I would expect Travis Etienne finishes top 12 at his position this year and got a pretty clear path to do the same next year as long as health and everything stays the same. I don't see why not. So I think this is a pretty good build here. And I would honestly go 9 here. But she spent like 20 hours on the clock through the first 4 rounds, so I'm going 8.5. Okay. Next up is Steve. So far, Steve has taken Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Herbert, Drake London, and Garrett Wilson. He traded for Wilson after drafting him, and the deal was Wilson. I don't know. There was a bunch of confusing going on, and he fat fingered a pick, and then before I could go try and fix it, he tried to trade the pick away. I'm like, no, you can't do that. And then it wasn't really a mess. It was like, what is even going on? But Steve trades back in the 4th, and all he gets was a trade up in the 7th, and the other side gets a trade up for a late round swap, which is like nice, but like I don't know what you're expecting to find. Like I said, at the 306 in the rookie class, I don't know. This trade is so hard to explain. I don't even want to spend too much time on it. Like, I don't know. I will just leave it at this. I liked the front half of this trade for Jonathan, and I liked the back half of this trade for Steve. It just, I didn't really understand the trade. I don't know. I guess. I don't know. Beer in me or not, I just did not understand it. So let me get back on track here. So back to his team. Gibbs, London, that's and Herbert. That's Steve's team so far. Personally, I'm not taking a running back in the first round of a dynasty startup. Herbert at 206 feels right. London in the 3rd is great value. That said, any team with Justin Herbert low-key kind of gives me the ick, so I'm going 2 out of 10. I'm just kidding. This one is kind of hard to rate just because I'm so unsure of the trade. I really feel like I got to see, I don't even know, I guess, kind of how it goes, but that's not really how the first round, I don't really even know. I don't know with this one. But the picks are solid. I think for now I'm going 5.5 out of 10. Next up is Brady. Okay, he's one of the 2 teams so far that we've talked about that has drafted 4 positions in 4 rounds. He, of course, Jaden Daniels guy, goes Jaden Daniels with his first pick. CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers, and Breece Hall. Very solid draft so far. Much like Sarah, he's got top 12 person at each position. Really like that. As much as you can really ask through the first 4 rounds. A pretty decent youth too. I do worry about Daniel staying healthy, and kind of worry about Breece now that he's just gonna be a Jet for life. And I say that as a Breece owner. I think I'm going 8.5 here. Very good start. Very good start. Next up is our Australian pal Alex. Always an aggressor. Traded his 1st and 2nd for next year's draft in exchange for the 209. With that pick, he has taken Jamar Chase, Jackson Dart, Pat Mahomes, Omarion Hampton, and Rashee Rice in the 4th. I think quite a bit of a reach there. So first, I love that he made the trade because he saw the writing on the wall where the quarterbacks were at that point. The pick he traded for was subsequent to his own, and he went back-to-back quarterbacks at that point. He went Jackson Dart with his pick, and the pick he traded for, he took Mahomes. He's got the wide receiver 1, and I said that he saw the writing on the wall for the quarterback because after that Mahomes pick, it kind of tiered down the quarterbacks unless you want to count Mahomes kind of into that really high-end QB2 and like low-end QB1, kind of just on the border there. If you want to lump him into there, then he was right there. But after that, it was kind of where it tiered down. So I really liked that he got aggressive right there and saw the board and made the move for him. But he's got the wide receiver 1, in my opinion. And I'm with Reed on being really high on Omarion Hampton. What I don't get is the Rice pick. And, like, this is, like, across the fantasy industry. Why are we not discounting him like he's not going to get suspended? He's already been in trouble with the league. And not only is he in jail, he's in jail for a probation violation from testing positive for a banned substance. Like, bro, get real. Like, obviously, I mentioned I have a blunt. I don't got a problem with anyone smoking any weed. But, like, dog, you got, like, one of the greatest jobs in the world that, like, so many people, like, want so bad. Stay off the weed, bro. Like, you literally have decades of your life afterwards and the money to afford the best weed in the world for the rest of your life. Just be like, hey, bro, like, I'm a wait. I get your rehab and your thing. Maybe you didn't want to take, a bunch of pills. I get that. You wanted to smoke a little bit to ease pain. I get that. I get it. But repeated examples of not showing good judgment, and then also you look at it. The Chiefs. From all the reporting, they're not looking to extend him right now. And if you're them, why the fuck would you extend him? Because they have zero reason to. Because one, either they want him to move on, and they're just like, you know what, we're just gonna play this year out. We're done. Bye. See you. Or two, they're playing chess, and they are aware that a suspension is coming too, and that suspension will cost them or save them a lot of money on his extension if he misses 4, maybe 6, potentially 8. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 8 games after he's already missed 8 games before, hasn't he? And he's going and doing dumb shit again. I don't know. I mean, he does play for the Chiefs, and if that's what you're kind of banking on, like, as a Chiefs player, they get away with everything, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, that just kind of seems to be an NFL thing. Maybe it is. Maybe we're at that point, and I'm thinking too old school, and everyone just gets away with anything because they're in the NFL and whatever. Now, I don't know. Maybe that's possible, but I see the suspension coming, and if he misses time, the Chiefs, because of a suspension, I guess injury too, for that matter, really, the Chiefs save a fortune on his extension. Honestly, I think he'll probably remain a Chief, but they're going to get a crazy discount because they're probably waiting out to see how all this legal shit happens and waiting out all this bullshit because it's going to save them a shit ton of money. And at the end of the day, also, I mean, even if he does stay with the Chiefs, I'm not counting on Rashee Rice to keep his head out of his ass and stay out of trouble and not be getting suspended and just be a constant headache. It's actually funny. I had Rashee Rice in one league, a dynasty league, and as soon as all this last shit happened, I was like, available for a bag of chips. Send me an offer. Alex, who drafted him in this league, immediately, within half an hour, sent me Josh Downs for Rashee Rice. And I instantly clicked accept. I was like, yes. And I don't regret it one bit. I've been trying to get my hands on Josh Downs in some leagues anyway, so it kind of works out. I get rid of the Rashee Rice headache and a Chiefs player for that matter, because fuck the Chiefs, if we're being totally honest. And, yeah. So it just kind of worked out. That said, if I take out the Rashee thing, he's got 2 quarterbacks, which is huge for me in these ratings. The best fantasy wide receiver, in my opinion, and Omarion Hampton, who's poised for a great year. With the Rashee Rice pick, I'm kind of going 6.5 out of 10. Had he gone anyone else around the top of the board right there, probably looking 8.5. But the Rashee Rice thing, that just kind of fucking pissed in my mouth. I'm not gonna lie. Next up is Ty, drafting out of the 1-0. And sorry about that. We lost recording there for a second, but we're back. We got the problem resolved, and we are back recording. We should be good. Okay, next up is Ty. Like I said, at the 104, and he, after a lot, and I mean very much deliberation, and I mean a lot, took Bijan Robinson in the first round, then traded his second round pick, which we talked about with Alex, got George Pickens, and then drafted Dak Prescott in the 4th, who was my quarterback to take when Love went off the board, and so he kind of screwed me there. But I really don't understand this draft so far. It's still really early, but RB in the first round, I already said I don't like that, and also that tells me he wants to contend. But trading away his second round pick says, oh, he's thinking long term. And then he goes Pickens in the 3rd round, which that's a pick. That's a good pick. It just kind of goes either way. He fits whatever time frame you're kind of working on there. And then he goes Dak in the 4th round, which brings me back to competing this year. But if that's the case, why trade your 2nd round startup pick, for a 1st and a 2nd round pick in a team that they're loading up on an extra startup pick, so it's probably going to be a good team this year. So it's probably not going to be a good pick for you next year. I don't know. I just don't really feel like I see the value there, personally. I don't think he's going to get like Jeremiah Love or anything out of it, or one of the other top prospects. Yeah, it's a good draft class. It'll be extra, and it's trade fodder. That's cool, but I don't know. I don't really understand the vision right here. I don't think so far. So for now, I can't really go above 5 out of 10 until we see how more of it unfolds. Next, we got Tate here in his first Dynasty startup. Let's go. His picks were Joe Burrow, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, and Cam Ward. I think it's pretty solid so far. I love that he made a point to get the 2 quarterbacks. I'm not a Cam guy, but he could have easily gone skill right there and get Ward 4 picks later, I feel like, with where he's situated in the draft. And then maybe added, and not that there was a ton of guys taken between there. I could pull up and see who was. It wasn't massive. I don't think he missed out on anything great, but just maybe could have got a still pretty good skill position, because I was not going to take a quarterback. Jonathan had already taken 2 quarterbacks, or I was not going to take Cam Ward. I did take a quarterback, but I was not going to take Cam Ward. I just felt like he could have waited just a few more picks, not much longer, but to his next pick, I think he could have. But I understand it, though, at the same time, too, because the skill position at the time was like Ladd, Burden, Flowers, Ibuka kind of range. He could have gone tight end and gotten an elite, not elite, but like that's still like high tier tight end, like Warren, Fannin, Kraft, or Laporta. Even Gadsden was there too. And I guess you could say, I don't know. I'm getting too lost in the weeds here and in the notes here. I do like what he's doing so far. I mean, yeah, the 2 quarterbacks, the running backs, definitely nice for win now. Definitely very nice for win now, actually. And if that's what he's going for, I think he's doing a pretty solid job. Needs to get some receivers in there, but other than that, I like it so far. 7 out of 10. And last before myself is Jonathan. So far, Jonathan has Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Devon Achane, and Garrett Wilson. Talked about, you got Wilson from Steve and the weird trade that I don't understand. I'm not going to try and explain it again. So outside of the weird trade, I actually really like this draft. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. We all know what you're getting there. Love Bo Nix as a QB2 to complement him. That's great. Achane's not personally my guy that I would go there, but, and I want nothing to do with Dolphins, but not everyone feels like that, and there is a potential that he has a great year because Willis has no one else to dump the ball off to or throw the ball to this year. And I don't know. I feel like he's going to see a lot of stacked boxes. Dolphins probably going to be behind in a lot of games, so he's probably not going to be running the ball a lot. And not my guy. Wilson, he's solid. I mean, as long as he's healthy and Geno can be like almost mid, he should PPR his way to a decent average. So, like I said earlier, I like the first half of that trade for Jonathan. Here, getting Wilson, I like his first 4 rounds a lot. 8 out of 10. We'll see how the back half of that trade works out for those dudes. And lastly, myself, hold on. I need to get a drink of beer for this one. Oh, gosh. Okay, so obviously, instant 10 out of 10. I am the superior fantasy player and the greatest man who ever lived. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real about it. Now, outside of my dreams and back here in the real world, this draft could have gone a hair better for me. Gosh, where did my draft board go? There it is. Okay, so first I took Drake May to start. I'm doing that 15 times out of 15, to be totally honest with you. I feel like it's his time. I feel like the situation's great. He's young. He's got the age over Allen factor. So, yeah, for me, it's, and I feel like even if I remove the bias of being a Pats fan, it's easily Drake May. maybe not quite easily, but it's still Drake May. Massively talented, great coach, aggressive front office that's been making way better moves lately, and a ton of talent around him, and a good balance of talent too. It's a lot of different guys that do a lot of different things, you know. Yeah, and I really like that, and that's what I like for my quarterback, the situation. And so when it swung back around to me, here's where it kind of started. Where I kind of made mistakes. So I took Trey McBride, and Brock Bowers was right there too, and I really thought about taking them both and be like, it's tight end premium. I could just start them both all the time, but I don't. I've made the mistake before, and I've got to be better about it. Drafting as soon as I wake up. I can't do it. I'm not thinking clearly, you know what I'm saying? And so I ended up going A.J. Brown at 3-1. And now, do I think that's a bad pick? No, it's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. But it's not the best value I don't think that I could have gotten. And, just not disappointed, but it just could have been better. Now, as far as A.J. Brown goes, the receivers that went after him, I mean, it's not like I took him over, Jefferson or anything, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I took him over Pickens, Drake London, who I already... I don't know if I mentioned... that must have been when it cut off recording, and I didn't notice, and finished recording the show, and then noticed. That was really frustrating. I don't know if I trust the Tua resurgence, and I kind of don't want to, because Brady traded for him in our home league, so I kind of hope Tua's ass. And then Chris Olave, I mean, it's New Orleans and the quarterbacks. For what I'm trying to do, give me A.J. Brown for 2 or 3 years, personally. Neighbors, now, if he goes back to full strength, then that was the wrong pick. But if things were right for Neighbors, he wouldn't have made it out the first round. So I don't know. Nico Collins, give me A.J. Brown. Ted McMillan, give me A.J. Brown. So I'm not like, I don't think it was a bad pick. Like I said, just not the pick I should have made. But I just let the thought of like an elite Patriots QB receiver stack just get me like way too bricked up, to think about anything else. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, you know what I'm saying. Come on, we all been there. So, the next day I was like, I'm not going to pick right as soon as I wake up. And I did. I did. And I'm actually pretty happy with the picks. That would have been Jared Goff. I took him number 4. Did not see I had offers for the 4 pick, and another person who was inquiring about it, and based off a trade that they made, I probably would have made the offer. They would have sent to me too, or taken the offer. So I gotta stop picking as soon as I wake up, man. But I did go Jared Goff with that 4th pick, and I'm pretty happy with that. I've got my 2 quarterbacks. I feel pretty good and set. Got an elite tight end. Got, a top 12 wide receiver to stack with my quarterback. I like that a lot. So it feels like, I'm doing all right. But it could be better. I kind of want to go 7 out of 10, but I won't. Even though I feel like I removed my self-bias, I'm going to go ahead and knock it down to 6.5 just to try and be fair. So, altogether, that brings us to number 12 in the total rankings, Lucas, with a score of 4.5. At number 11, we have Carson at 5. Number 10 is is also at 5. I like ties just a little bit more than what Carson's doing. 9 is Steve at 5.5. 8 is Alex with a score of 6. And 7 is me with 6.5. Tate is in 6th with a score of 7. 5th place is Jonathan with 8. 4th place is AB with 8.5. 3 people with 8.5. Just kind of had to nitpick here and decide which one I liked the most. Number 3 is Brady at 8.5. Sarah, number 2 with 8.5. And then Reed, I hate to say it, he's my favorite person to talk shit on, especially when it comes to fantasy, but gosh, he is chefing it up. He's cooking something in that kitchen, and it smells really good. I'm trying to walk down a block and go eat. Yeah. relives a block away from me for that reference. But yeah, I really like his draft so far. He's doing really well. And that is going to about wrap it up for me, except the clock has swung back around to me, and I am on the clock, so I'm going to kind of go through these picks a little bit, and just do a little preemptive talk before the next episode. And so, the draft has been paused, cool. So, with the 5th pick there, when I woke up in the morning and took Jared Goff and made the 2 picks, I also took Devontae Smith. I got an offer from maybe. He's like, man, that's who I wanted. Will you make me a deal? So I was like, yeah, let's make a deal. I traded back into the end of the 5th round. I gave him Devontae Smith, traded back to the end of the same round I took him in, and acquired a 2nd round pick for next year. I took Quinshon Judkins with that pick, who I really wanted. I had it on very good authority that he would not make it back to me, so I did not. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and take that offer because I didn't feel great about the Devontae Smith pick. That range of receiver that was left right there was like, it was him, Ladd, Emeka, Zay, Jalen Waddle, Luther Burden, T. Higgins, kind of that range, and just dynasty. I don't know, like, I'm not trying to hang my hat on any of one of those guys as like my wide receiver 1, including Devontae. And so the offer was like, you know what, I'll take the extra pick, and I really wanted Judkins. I feel okay hanging my hat on him as like my low end RB1 in a dynasty. And it helps me fill out the roster a little bit more too, and it helps me out next year. Hopefully get a decent little pick. So after that, in the 6th round, as I may have mentioned, I'm pretty sure I did earlier in the episode, defenses are juiced in this league. They're meant to be important, very important. So I was the first one to take a defense here, 6-12, the Seattle Seahawks defense. Plan was take them right there, and then hopefully snag the Texans, and I was going to kind of see who else was available at that point and kind of play it by ear. Now, the Texans ended up getting snagged, sadly. Excuse me. Right after I made the Seahawks pick, I doubled up with Sam Laporta in round 7. So I really like that. I'm really optimistic on Sam Laporta this year with Drew Petzing. Really excited about it. And I feel like I've got, in a tight end premium league, 2 top 5 tight ends for the next quite a while, so I like that a lot. And then my hope, now that I am now on the clock again, was that I would take the Texans defense. I was kind of hoping no one else would take defense and be like, oh, look at Zach, he's a dumbass reaching on defenses. But other people were hip to the game and were like, yeah, okay, well, if it's time, it's time. Reed took the Rams defense in 8th round, spoiler alert. I won't go through the rest of his drafts right now, but I would just say I do like his win now draft a lot so far, and I think the Rams are a big part of that. Steve took the Denver defense, and Brady took the Texans defense, which is who I really wanted to snag. I think they're going to be really good for a really long time. Peluso, Ty, excuse me, I'll try to remember to blank out his name. He took the Eagles defense. So yeah, and then a couple IDP guys. Tate takes Dayan Henley. Steve takes Jack Campbell with the pick he got acquired from Jonathan, that 8th round pick. So I am on the clock again, and I kind of want to go IDP and get a guy here. I'm looking at who's available here. I've already got a couple quarterbacks, and it's left with Tua, Penix, Brissett, McCarthy. Gross. So not thinking quarterback here. Running backs is Jalen Warren, Ramondre, Monangai, Pollard, Corum, Dobbins. If it just feels kind of gross. I maybe should consider running back here if I'm thinking about competing this year. Warren would be the one if I were gonna do that. How old is he? 27. I mean, that's. We'll see. But he's also on a timeshare. Running back feels gross. I might even try to wait and Pollard's going to be gross too. I don't know. I don't want any of these guys, to be totally honest with you. Maybe Gainwell later.
maybe we'll see. Hopefully nobody listens to this soon enough to steal him from me. Receivers available. We're looking at like Devontae, McLaurin, DJ Moore, gross. Mike Evans, Christian Watson, Sutton, Metcalf, Myers. I mean, I could use another receiver, but I just don't really feel great about any of these guys in this range with all the other positions that are needed in this league. Now, part of me does kind of want to just snag up some of these position players while everyone starts to draft IDP and defenses, but I don't know. Tight end, I'm not drafting another tight end right now, although Gadsden's right there. That's kind of nice. Any good available defenses? I do like the thought of the Vikings defense. Brian Flores is going to be there probably for a while. He's eventually going to get a coaching job, I would think, but gosh, they are pretty fucking solid, and he is a great coach. They do still have a lot of good talent there. I don't want to quite go to defenses here. I do want to get a linebacker, though. Looking at who's top of it, you go look at who was top last year. Jordan Brooks finished like second or third, led the league in tackles, and he's been a very incredibly steady IDP option during the entirety of my IDP career. I'm going to pause just one quick second and go check on my pizza in the oven. And we timed that just right. That pizza would have been cooked if I had not have gone and checked it right then. Or overcooked, I should say. So, I do like Jordan Brooks here. Although I hate to go by IDP. Or ADP, excuse me. But he is a ways down here in the linebackers. And so part of me feels like he might get buried and sneak through, but I honestly don't believe it. So I am going to actually go ahead and go Jordan Brooks. Let me double check his game log his game logs one more time. Yeah, last year just incredibly steady. How old is he? 28. Yeah. I mean, another thing I like about him. Okay, incredibly steady the year before. Like, okay, yeah, and the year before that. Oh my god, yeah. Like he kind of phased off the end of that year, but he still had some decent games. And that was 2023, 2022. Badass year. 2021, the great year it looks like, and even his rookie year, once he started games after week 6, it looks like I would like a linebacker 3 for fantasy, which is not bad for a rookie. Just double digits most games, but not high double digits. So yeah, he's just been so steady since for fantasy since he got in. So he's still young enough. I'm going to go ahead and go Jordan Brooks here with this pick. And what did Aluakon do last year? He's almost 31. Yeah, and fantasy-wise, that was kind of a down year for him, I would say. So we're not going to go Aluakon here. I would not mind doubling up some IDP. Part of me is actually kind of thinking Roquan or Myles Garrett. And for reference, if you're listening this far, do not ever go look at Fantasy Pros IDP rankings. They have Micah Parsons in a tier 1 of 3 guys, and the dude's not expected back till week 8, and he's not even a good IDP fantasy option to begin with. Go check the game log. He's not. He's very boom bust at best. And so just be really careful of what you read online. Go in the apps and look for yourself, and go look at the numbers yourself, and do a little bit of math. It's worth it. Myles Garrett's old though, and obviously he's not going to do what he did last year in this scoring, and he's going to a new team. But that was the other thing I liked about Jordan Brooks. I didn't say he's done it with 2 different teams. It's some guys with IDP fantasy, you see them go to a different team, and suddenly they're not as good as they were because they're in a different scheme, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can go Myles Garrett here. That just doesn't feel right. Feels too early for a defensive back too. I don't want to quite go with any of them. There's one other linebacker I really don't want to let slip out. I'm gonna say he is pretty buried. It looks like someone is gonna have to very actively seek him out. But if it's someone doing their homework, they're gonna find him really easy. And he is. This is really tough right here. Dang, he is fucking down there. So I would like to think that anyone else would think they can probably wait as well too. Fuck, this is a gamble. Oh my gosh, let me go see where he finished last year. I don't want to say his name because if I don't take him, someone might hear this before my next pick. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's not all right. Okay, well, that's total. Okay, that's all IDP where he finished. Now, where is it in just linebackers? That's a little tougher to stomach. Okay. Got it. Okay, some of these guys ahead of him. Now I'm gonna discount Bobby Wagner. I don't think Bobby Wagner's ahead of him. I don't think that matters. Devin White. I wonder where he's going in ADP. What's he been like previous years? Ew, he's only really had the one really good fantasy year. Excuse me, no, he had one back in 2022. 2021 was solid. 2020 was solid too. He must have been hurt. Yeah, that other year was solid. So it was just kind of the one bad year. I guess he missed the first half, so he could have been hurt. It doesn't look like he was playing too much. He played a lot last year, though. A lot last year, though, and he was damn good. He had 19 tackles in a game. Fuck. Gosh. I mean, he is 28. Where is he? If he's buried a little bit, I don't want to go too early on him too. And I mean, Roquan's right here. How old's Roquan? 29. I mean, he's so consistent though. Let me look at this. Man, I really think there's a chance that at least one of those guys will still be there because they are just so buried in ADP, and I think the chances that two people take either one of these guys is slim. So I think I could go with White or unnamed. I'm gonna leave that one. And I wouldn't mind going both and just getting 3. Dominating some IDP would be pretty fucking sweet. I cannot lie to you. And would be massively huge. Let me look at these skill positions one more time. Okay. I mean, I guess these guys are already coming up in my queue too. Damn. You know what? I think I'm gonna go. Fuck! I keep saying this and I can't. Oh man, this is tough. Where did White finish? Or where is he in ADP? Excuse me. Man, he's fucking buried in here. Is he? Oh, he's not on a roster. That's why. Okay. That brings me pause for concern, Skip. Okay. I mean, even Alex Singleton. He's a little old. He's a little old to draft here. Same with Van Ginkel. How about Ernest Jones? He's pretty good. He's pretty consistent as well. Yeah, he's actually pretty fucking. That's fucking nice. Ton of upside. Consistent with a ton of upside.
and this is on 2 different teams for sure. So, and he's actually kind of high up here. So I think I might actually go Ernest Jones, because he's got a youth factor to him as well too, which I like. He's only 26, and he'd been doing this. Yeah, he'll be 27 during the season, but yeah, I mean, he had a massive. I mean, he's part of a great defensive unit, so he should continue to have great seasons. I'm gonna do it. I'm going Ernest Jones. Ernest Jones. All right, and we will try to get our other guy later. So far my team or my draft so far: Drake May, Trey McBride, AJ Brown, Jared Goff, Quinshon Judkins in lieu of Devontae Smith. Seahawks defense: Sam Laporta, Jordan Brooks, Ernest Jones. So let me see how this looks like when you look at it as the team. Honestly, looking at it like in the roster area where you look at it like at team areas as opposed to just the draft board, I'm liking this a lot, actually. I like my linebacker duo there, especially if I could fill my second IDP flex spot with one of those other guys I was talking about. I like that a lot. And as far, I'm not going to say that much, actually, in case this does get listened to. But I do have plans for the rest of the IDP. I will just say that. Excuse me. Definitely drafting kicker next. I'm just kidding. But kickers are relevant in this league. If your league isn't doing 0.1 yard per 0.1 points per yard kicked for your kicker, you're not doing it right. Do that, and you will always want to have kickers in your league. You will never be, ooh, get rid of kickers. Why we got kickers? I can't stand that shit. Seahawks defense in a league like this, that matters. Feel great about that. And then Drake May, Jared Goff. That's fucking, I love that quarterback duo. Quinshon, RB1. Low end RB1, I will admit. Maybe even high end RB2. Probably not going to be the greatest game scripts for him, but I think he should still be pretty solid. And AJ Brown and Trey McBride, good couple of pass catchers. Yeah. Man, if I'd have just done Brock Bowers instead of yeah, I don't know, but then I wouldn't have any receivers. No, and I've still got 2 really good tight ends. So, man, this draft has been fun. It's been dragging out, but it has been fun, and I'm excited to keep it going. Round 9, basically starting probably tomorrow. I think Carson, who's on the clock, is probably asleep. So, excited for that, and we are covering plenty of ground. Should hopefully, I don't know if we'll hit 14 tomorrow. Actually, we probably won't. So, we'll probably keep it at the 4-hour clock, I think, because we are covering some nice ground here. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to get out of here and eat this pizza. And Jesus, Jack, drink another beer. I will actually. Right now. But please subscribe to whatever you listen on, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Leave a good review, 5 stars. You don't even gotta type anything in the review. Just leave the 5-star on whatever app. Drop a like if you're on YouTube. All that good shit. Please. It really does help. It gets us going in the algorithm and whatnot. And not just your algorithm, and into other people's algorithms. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling really generous, maybe peep some of the links. Like I've mentioned before, Old Glory, great merch. It's not licensed, but I've ordered from there. It's not bullshit. It's good stuff. They have something for every team in every league. Probably got one of your favorite artists for sure, guaranteed. They got a shit ton of artists on there, and just a lot of cool stuff on the site. I definitely recommend checking it out. And using promo code ZBR12 when you do. And if you're a working man, like me, you get outside or even inside, really, just doing a lot of hard work, you need some good working gloves. And even every woman needs some good work gloves too. So we got a deal with Bare Knuckles work gloves, ZBR12, of course. You get a little percentage. I think it's 15% off there. And I have also ordered those. Great stuff.
were going great for me until my dog got to them. And I tell you what, you're not gonna buy a glove that a pit bull blackmouth cur mix is. It's the dog's gonna win every time, and that doesn't matter what glove you buy. If you spend $100, if you spend $5, the dog's gonna win that one every time. And it did. So if you do buy them, keep them away from your dog. But yeah, there's other stuff on there. Peep it out, all sorts of random stuff if you're feeling generous enough. But at the minimum, please do like and subscribe. That's the big one. And like I always say, guys, nothing changes if nothing changes. And we will see you soon. Later. Shitbag lizard people.
My bro's QB2 is Aiden O'Connell.
Bucks on bait.
Actually, when you add up the pick value, when you crunch the numbers, who the fuck's Jennifer?